Good afternoon. Welcome to Edenwald's 2021 Virtual Resident Panel, the Insiders Club. My name is Allie Watson-Fowler, and I'm the Marketing Coordinator here at Edenwald. And I'm just going to go over a few guidelines for our webinar today. The number one question, this webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be sent out to everyone at a later date. You will notice that the chat feature has been disabled at the bottom. If you have any questions or if you're having any difficulties with the webinar itself, please direct those questions to the Q&A box, which will be at the bottom of your screen. Our panelists will answer as many questions as they can throughout the presentation, as well as after our presentation has concluded. Now, without any further ado, I will turn things over to Edenwald's President and CEO, Mark Beggs.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Edenwald's Insiders Club. It's hard to believe it's been a year since our first heard about this virus. It seems both like forever and like it was only yesterday, which is a strange feeling to have. When we did our first virtual event, it felt so strange and awkward, but now we are a year later in hundreds of these types of meetings and everything else that we do. It's funny that something starts to feel so natural. I started to joke with the residents, I feel like I'm a YouTube sensation here because of my town hall meetings and all my little video messages. So we're glad you could join us today. I thought I'd start just by providing a brief update of things going on in Edenwald, because I know everyone's like, well, so what's going on over there? How is it? How are things? Are you getting your vaccinations? And the answer is yes. So we have our first vaccination clinic scheduled that will involve the IL residents. We've already done all of the healthcare and assisted living and 50% of the staff. So at this point, we have 243 people who have been vaccinated. We have our clinic set up for Wednesday, a week from today, February 3rd. We have 100% participation from the IL residents, which I'm very excited about. So by the time we're done, we'll only have one resident on the whole property who has chosen not to be vaccinated, and who knows if they'll change their mind between now and then. So we're anticipating vaccinating about 600 people next Wednesday. So it's going to be a very exciting thing. And then we'll have our third and final clinic on the 24th. At that point, everyone will have had both of their vaccinations. And I really anticipate starting to open up the community more. I mean, we're already open in a lot of ways. Our cafe is open for dinner and lunch. Our amenities are open. We are in the midst of renovating 2 dining rooms, which will open in mid-February once that's done. And I think it's going to feel pretty normal here after everyone is vaccinated. I keep asking the Department of Health and trying to, in our associations, if there's any kind of guidance that's been given, and I just don't see the downside in starting to open up just almost regularly. I mean, we'll screen and we'll have social distancing and we'll have masking because that's the guidance at this point. But I really just see us moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see what else. We're also just doing some planning. I mean, the pandemic made us, probably everybody, feel like the world had stopped. And there was a point where it felt that way here. And I just got to the point where I just couldn't focus on this every single day anymore. So we started planning for other things. And at this point, we're having a meeting on February 17th to talk about renovation of our memory care assisted living and an expansion of that. Throughout this, we've allowed our occupancy and our comprehensive care to decrease intentionally. It's been a very good strategy for us. So we have a whole section of the building that we actually closed. We're going to take this opportunity to really make it a state-of-the-art memory care program, very residential. I'm very excited about it. I think the board is very excited about it too. So on the 17th, we'll probably make the decision to move forward and make that our project for the year. And then we have other things. Continuing care at home is a big thing for us. We are going to start planning that this year. And then our Medicare certification, which has been on hold due to the pandemic, quite honestly. So once we get past our vaccination clinics, which will end, as I said, on February 24th, we'll push and start to move really forward to get the Medicare certification completed. We're ready. We just need to start calling the state and asking them to come and do the survey. So that's kind of us in a nutshell today. Does anybody have any questions about anything I said before we get started?
All exciting stuff.
I'll continue on, and if people have questions before you actually start the panel, we can jump on that. So I, of course, want to thank our resident panelists today. They're a wealth of information, and hopefully we'll give you a great feel about Edenwald, the types of people who live here and why they have chosen us. Now I'd like to introduce Kitty Allen. She's the president of the Resident Association and a member of our board of directors. She started her 2-year term on our board in April of 2020. She's been a resident in Edenwald since April of 2015, was the vice president of the Resident Association before becoming president. Kitty, through her role, is an integral part of the communication between the residents and the campus leadership, and is the voice of the residents on the board of directors. So, Kitty.
Thank you, Mark. Well, it's been almost 6 years since I presented my children with a wonderful gift, my decision to move to Edenwald. They were surprised, but thrilled and possibly relieved. From day one of my move-in, it was just like being on the TV show Cheers. Everyone knows your name. Such a friendly place. I was still working outside for the first few years, but retired when elected to leadership here. I've been president of the Residents Association since last April when the pandemic hit. Life obviously changed in some ways, but to a person, we residents have felt friendly and loving care of the staff and the safety and security of being a part of this wonderful community, our extended family. Under the aegis of the Residents Association, there are more than 30 committees, activities, and opportunities for service, something for everyone. And you will hear more about some of them this afternoon. Yes, we've been wearing masks and staying safely socially distant from one another, but our activities have continued with amenities open, lectures, concerts, classes, church services, movies, all available either by Zoom, in-house television, or YouTube. We've been able to select meals for menus each week for delivery to our apartments. And now by reservation, we can dine in the cafe with friends unmasked. And we look forward to the reopening of our fabulously redecorated dining rooms very soon. So next week, as Mark said, we'll be receiving our first COVID-19 vaccine here in our auditorium. No need for us to make an appointment beyond our doors. Like just about everything you could wish for, it is right here under our roof. After moving here, I felt so happy and relieved that I was no longer alone in my former apartment, but now a part of a community that cares for and about me. And so are my children, who keep an eye on all things Edenwald via the website. So now back to Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our dynamic duo of Diane Stinchcomb and Debbie Jenka. Along with Allie and LaShawn, they make up our sales team. And they help people learn about not only Edenwald, but just about life plan communities in general. You know, you don't know anything about it until you really start thinking about it and looking. We frequently say we don't actually feel like we're competing. So this event isn't, so you'll choose us over Blakehurst or somewhere else. People just go and they visit communities and they will find a place that fits for them. And if you come to Edenwald and we're not a fit for you, we welcome you to go find some place that feels like home to you, because that's basically what you're looking for. And Diane and Debbie basically work with people to help them figure that out. So whether it's Edenwald or somewhere else, we hope you learned something very useful today. Now I'd like to turn our discussion over to Diane and Debbie.
Hello.
Thanks, everyone, and welcome to Edenwald. I'd like to introduce you to our resident panelists today. We have Mr. Joe Lichtenstein. We have John and Joan McMahon, and we have Carol Siegmeister joining us today. So Mark touched on something really important, that the choice of a community, it's really personal and based on what feels right to you. So I'll start with Joe. Joe, I knew you for a few years before you made a decision to come to Edenwald. So can you talk a little bit about your journey and what made you decide that Edenwald was the best fit for you?
Sure. It did take 3 years. It was not an easy 3 years, and it wasn't an easy decision. It's a big change in your life, but it's a correct change in your life. We find out after we're here. It is a good advice to look around at other places, because places are different. And we did that for 3 full years. And we decided after 3 years, based on a few things, to come here. One of the things was the location. I love being in the middle of things. And here in Towson, where everything is. If I want to get sheets, when there was no pandemic, we walked across the street to Macy's and brought them back home. No parking problems at all. The other thing is the health services. Of course, that was a major consideration. And, you live alone by yourself, it's very nice, except when you get sick. And I had that experience of getting sick, being by myself, having to get up late at night at about 3 o'clock, having a temperature of about 103 degrees, and going out and looking for food for dinner. I don't have to do that anymore. That's a wonderful feeling. Even with the pandemic, and we don't have the dining rooms open, the food is brought to our apartments by menu. We select everything on the menu, and it's brought up 3 meals a day if you want, anything you want. So that's a great thing. The third thing and one of the major things that convinced us to do this was the welcoming nature of the residents and staff. Everyone knows your name. Everyone says hello. We got calls, my partner Mary and I, at least 2 or 3 times a week to have dinner together with other people. And that's great. We really enjoyed that. In fact, just this week, even though we're not eating together, we got a call from another couple who asked us to join them in just conversation, which we did. And it was very nice. So that was, those are the main reasons that we came here. And as all my friends say, and I'm going to get t-shirts made, it says, we did the right thing.
Thank you,
I answered
Joe.
your question.
That's super. Thank you. So John and Joan, if you can just tell us a little bit about your active life at Edenwald that's continued despite the pandemic.
So we ran a Maker's Mart in October. We have a lot of residents here who bring their talents from their homes into Edenwald, woodworkers, painters, fiber artists, and they had so much to offer, and yet we didn't really know what their background was necessarily. So we did a Maker's Mart fair and had people display their items. Some were for sale for the residents to purchase, and it just got us to know each other a lot better. We did it outside under the fabulous tent that Mark provided. And so that was energizing. The other thing we did is we give back to our own residents. Again, the talent is there. In July, we did a fidget mat workshop where we took placemats and attached all kinds of items and then provided our memory care unit with these fidget mats so that we're giving back to our own residents. And we had over 20 people sign up and participate in that. And that was all during the pandemic. We do lots of arts and craft programs here. A lot of it goes to our residents, but a lot of it goes outside because we serve our community as well.
Thanks, Joan. So John, besides helping your wife haul boxes and art supplies to various places throughout the community, tell us about your hobby that you enjoy at Edenwald.
Well, I'm a woodworker, so the Edenwald site here has quite a good woodworker. I was spoiled for a very long time because I taught general shop in a middle school, and I had a wonderful shop with all of the machines and tools that a person could love. And I must say that the shop in Edenwald is equal to that. It gives me an opportunity to practice that, but it also gives me an opportunity to help others in the building and that are part of our extended family here by helping in what we call a fix-it shop. Residents and staff and others bring things that need to be fixed. This morning, we had a lamp that came in at 9 o'clock and went out fixed at 9:30. The guy just sat around and chat with us while we were fixing it. Other times, things take a little bit longer. But it gives a number of us who like to work and fix and do an opportunity to do. So that's my main activity I do here. But
So,
yeah, go
John,
on.
can you also talk about how you teach other residents how to do woodworking? And I know we like Joe to show off his special project that he learned in the wood shop.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was me that set up the structure, but really it was other woodworkers that worked down there that shared their skills. And there's a man that is very accomplished on the lathe. His name is Bill, and he showed Joe how to make
Let's see
a
it,
pen.
Joe.
And
Ta-da.
it's he made beautiful turning on the lathe wood pen. Others, Bill has shown how to make bowls. My wife has made a couple pens. So, we're kind of about helping each other. There's another man that made a few pens, but then got engrossed in making ducks. These ducks that sometimes you see on the corner of a garage that kind of have the wings that fly. So
Yeah.
what's wonderful about it is not that there's a very set in stone program, but there's a possibility to use all these tools and all these resources that we have to do creative things that please us
And learn new skills.
and learn new skills from each other.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great spot. Always nice to walk down there and see a lot of activity in that area. All right, Debbie, turn it over to you.
Hello, Carol.
Hi.
Hi. So I understand that you were a fan of our outdoor dining venue, Dining Under the Stars. Can you share your experience with us?
I would love to. It was the amazing idea of all of yours, I'm sure, but I have to give enormous credit to our incredible catering directress, Janet Staggs, who created this atmosphere for us during the pandemic of dining under the stars. We came up the elevator to our 5th floor, what was the putting green, and became this beautiful setting for dining. We had a canopy over all of us, the whole length of the putting green. We were carefully screened. We entered with masks, and we were safe distanced. But once we got there, we were surrounded by beautiful flower boxes with incredible arrangements in them. And I believe there are 31 boxes, and all of the residents have an opportunity to have one of those and plant them to their heart's desire. And we maintain them, and there's a whole committee, and it's great, but I'll go into that later. What was so amazing about the evening was that Janet's staff brought an entire bar up every evening, and we had tablecloths and flowers, and it was festive, and people got to table hop, and it was just wonderful, and a full menu, and lots of it on the grill, which made it even more exciting. When do you get grilled food, in the summertime? It was heavenly. So all I can say is that it was just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I heard the food also, and I think you mentioned how great it was just to see people dressed up again.
Oh, jewelry. We got our jewelry out.
Lipstick.
And if I might add to the accolades that John and Joan have received for just a moment, they even made a cocktail table for me down in that fabulous wood shop down there. We chose stains, we picked the table base, they picked them up, they delivered them. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Good.
I wanted to add something, sort of a funny comment I heard when the green roof dining started. I was up there taking pictures one day, and some of the gentlemen said, "This is the first time I've worn real shoes in months." It was great. So Joe, touching on the green roof again a little bit, I know when they first started the Green Roof Dining, you and Mary, your partner, Mary, were a little apprehensive about eating up there and being around people. So how did the dining team reassure you and make you feel comfortable to start enjoying that space?
Well, we decided to come down by ourselves when no one was there to take a look and see what was there. So what do I see? What Carol described with the flowers. I see this great big beautiful tent with no sides with the fresh air going through. And I see a table for two, which I thought was very nice for my partner and myself. And so we decided to do it. And we sat down and we had some wonderful on the grill salmon, which is much better than other ways, and a wonderful dinner with a couple of glasses of wine. And it was like going out to a regular restaurant. It was unusual. We didn't know how to act, but it was very nice. We really
Great, great
enjoyed
to
it.
hear. So Joan and John, now that things have changed a little bit, how do you define the value of living at Edenwald today?
Well, I like to say that we're in a castle and that our apartment is a suite in the castle. Because all of these things that we have are just, well, we spend some time in it, but even with COVID, we're at the pool, we're at the fitness center,
We're at the shop.
shop, and
Walk around the outside where the staff has strategically put some benches. And you can walk for a while and then you can sit down and still maintain your social distancing. We can't use the Goucher campus any longer, but we'll be able to use it in the future. So we have that. We can wander around the building because people have very interesting things on their door and decorating the outside of their units.
the maintenance team here, and John and I would recognize a skilled carpenter if we saw one because of what John did. The skilled staff here is so amazing. It's just refreshing to have an electrician on staff, and to have the quality of carpenters, finished carpenters and gross carpenters, to be able to come in and solve problems for you. All that stuff you would have to do in your house and call around and find people, it's all done for you here. Great.
Great, thank you. Debbie?
Okay, Carol, so what advice would you give someone who's thinking about a move but thinks it's too soon? And what services did you use that could help others support a move at this time?
Well, my advice to everyone is do not wait. We are of an age and time when this kind of thing is necessary and not just to meander around. Do by all means, as Mark suggested, come and see a unit, see many units, and decide on one that's satisfactory for you. And then begin your lists, a little notebook that says all the pros and cons. What am I going to save by not owning a house any longer with all the maintenance and the difficulties of having a home when you're perhaps a little bit encumbered with a disability or some illness? And talk about those things on paper so that you know what you're looking for. And basically, it's a matter of getting rid of Aunt Polly's 40-year-old Christmas gift and managing to part with some of the furniture that you need and know that you're going to downsize, but get it done. Get ready. Pack a box a week, whatever it is that it takes to get yourself motivated. And come back to Edenwald because they are incredibly helpful. They have a moving company that they often tell us about, that it was amazing. A packing company, someone to help you get rid of the things that are no longer part of your repertoire. And so I tell my friends and clients, by all means, get rid of it now and don't wait. We are waiting for you. We're all waiting for you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Can I add a little bit to that?
Sure.
one of the things while we were doing our research, which took about 5 years prior to moving in here, is we interviewed the people that were there when we visited. And one of the most salient things that people said was, I wish I had done this 10 years earlier. The earlier you can move in, the better. I think Joan's parents who live in a community like this provided that impetus also, because they moved in and they were there for 9 or 10 years before one of them died. They had their roots, they had their situation, friends and everything taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, can you tell us a little bit about what you like about the Towson area and things that are available to you, both pre-pandemic and during the pandemic, and then what you're looking forward to post-pandemic?
One word, convenience. Everything is here. I mean, and not only is it here, there are lots of new things coming. And I like to be in the middle of things. I don't want to be out in the boonies. I have both. I have the Goucher campus if I want. We also have downtown Towson. We have York Road. Within minutes of here, you have the Safeway, you have an M&T Bank, you have the CVS, you have Walgreens. I could just keep going on and on. As far as food goes, if I decide I want a good hamburger, I can walk over to the Cheesecake Factory, have a very good hamburger, or I can go out York Road and find tons of places. So that's what I like. That's one of the reasons we came to Edenwald. I love the location.
That's great. Thank you, Joe. So Joan and John, can you tell our guest a little bit about the level of communication between Edenwald staff and the residents during the pandemic?
Well, we have one young man in housekeeping who walked into our thrift store. We have a thrift store in the basement. So if you're moving here and you can't use stuff, well, we'll take it off your hands. Anyway,
we'll
so
buy it.
Carol walks in and he says, "Good morning, family." He's like 19 years old. And it was so refreshing to see a staff person walk in and greet you like that in the morning. I love that. Another thing is, some people wouldn't like this. They would think it would be an invasion of privacy, but on occasion we do visit our adult children, and in the afternoon and get carried away and decide to stay for dinner, and off we go. And then our phone rings and they say, "We're just checking in. Are you safe?" And we forgot to tell them on the way out the door that we were going to be gone over a period of time.
Over the meal hour.
Over the meal hour. And I was so impressed that somebody cared enough to check up on us and to really, I felt like I was really home, that somebody was watching out for us all the time. That was great. And then I'm a baker, so at 8 in the morning, one morning I'm baking and the smoke detector goes off. And John's trying to find the fan in the kitchen, to tap it. Before he could find the fan, we had a phone call from the front desk and another staff person on their way up. So I would say 10 seconds, maybe, before they're checking up on us to make sure that we're safe. All about the safety. And that was so important to us. Then we have this fitness director. I'm sure some of you may pay a lot of money to go to a gym. Well, our gym is here and it's way more adequate than you would think. But we have Ryan. And Ryan is our personal trainer. And he writes out information for you, sets up all the equipment, monitors you to make sure that you're doing exercises correctly. He does weekly programs. He is so awesome. He has so many people that he supervises, and he even tells you how to reach for things. Our stretching exercise is based on activities of daily living. So reach up there for that can. And, when you're getting your leg in to the car, you're going to stretch this over. So his exercise programs are all about moving forward with your life year. We even have a server, bless her soul, high school server. And for Christmas, she knocked on the door and brought me a pair of handmade earrings. They were beads. And on the card, it said what each bead signified. So this one signified love, and this bead signified wisdom. And I was so touched that one of our student workers would reach out to a resident and just treat me like mom, you know.
Or grandma.
Thank you.
I think it says an awful lot when the CEO and president wears his preschool son's necklace to work.
Mark,
Hey, Mark.
There you go. Yeah.
thank you. So Kitty, do you mind if we ask you kind of an off the cuff question?
Sure. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Mark and the rest of the Edenwald team has kept the residents informed, sometimes daily, during all of this?
I think communication is Mark's middle name. He really thinks it's important to keep everybody informed, and he sends these massive email things out at least once a week, more often if there's something to be said. He has the town hall every month that is televised to everybody and then posted on the website, and so that people without a computer may be able to see it or elsewhere. But anyway, and he has such a wonderful open door policy. And every phone call, every email, every letter that gets sent to him is responded to personally by him. And I think he really has created a wonderful sense of camaraderie here. And we all know who he is, and he seems to appreciate all of us in responding to any question we have.
Thanks,
you.
Kitty.
Thank you, Kitty.
Debbie?
So Carol, I know that no 2 days are alike for a busy lady like you, but could you tell us what a typical day is like for you here at Edenwald?
I am actually the ever-ready battery.
You are, yeah.
And we have so much to offer. Any given morning, you can go on YouTube if you don't have the interior channel, and there's Ryan doing what Joan expressed was a fabulous class. I'm a swimmer, so I get to go swimming as many times a week as I can sign up for because it's in demand. And not only that, you can take a walk with a friend outside. People are meeting in the lobbies and having a conversation. There is always some kind of an activity to do. And the building has, the staff, has provided amazing activities. That you would discuss movies and concerts and lectures and Zoom conversations and religious conversations, and it's been an amazing, amazing journey. So I have no more to say except that it is just the perfect place for us to live at this time. And one thing to add about what Joan was extolling about is that if you have an accident or you have a sore or you have something that needs to be tended to, you will get a daily visit by the nursing staff who will change a bandage with a smile on her face and take your temperature and make you feel so incredibly safe. Happy
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank you, Carol.
We'll take, Joe, I'll ask one more question and then we'll turn it over to our guests who are attending with us today through our chat feature. Joe, I just wanted to ask you, and some of the people who are watching today may know about this, may have seen it on our Facebook page, but we had an amazing 12 days of Christmas for the residents this year. Normally we have a huge party put on by our board of directors, but because of COVID, we weren't able to have a big gathering. So our dining team, aided by a lot of other departments, did 12 days of Christmas. Joe, can you tell me what was your favorite of all of the 12 days gifts and activities?
Well, first of all, it was nice to see everybody coming through the halls and singing carols. and, making us realize it was the time of the year. And secondly, those bottles of champagne weren't bad either. And also one of my favorite things was I got to enjoy the bagpiper.
Mhm.
We had a bagpiper that went through every floor, and he was really good, doing carols on the bagpipes. And I really enjoyed that. I have a good picture with him. I don't know where it is, or I'd show it to you right now, but it was great. I enjoyed it. And I thought it was really, really nice that you guys thought of doing something like that. That was 12 days, something every single day. We got a different thing every day for the 12 days. It was great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
Can I just add one thing to that? Because I found the 12 days of giving, the residents adored it, but I have to say the staff here equally enjoyed it. I mean, it was so great for us to go door to door and see people that in some cases we haven't seen for months. But I think it was a win-win for everyone, the residents and the
That
Edenwald.
was.
Well, it was true with the young servers who were helping, because Janet usually just wanted 2 of them to go, but they all wanted to go. So she ended up having 4 people go for everything.
Yeah.
They had such a good time.
Not
We'll
to
never
interrupt,
sing
but
that song again the same way.
Not to interrupt, but I will just say one last thing for myself, and that is something that it's not overlooked, but it's understated. We have the single best staff in this place you could ever have. These people take care of us. They say hello. They always greet you. If you need them, they're there, Johnny in the Flash, for anything. Change a light bulb, unclog a sink. No more, you don't have to call Craigslist. You don't have to get on the phone and call all your friends and find out who to call to get it fixed. And then they come out here and charge you a fortune. So, you have everything available, and the staff they don't just come, they are really pleasant. So I enjoy having them when I see them. It's really, that's one of the nicest things here. Everything, the whole staff, including you guys.
Diane, that's one thing.
Thanks, Joe.
Diane, that was one thing we wanted to mention too, is when you go shopping, to ask how much the staff is paid, minimum wage or whatever. We're competing with a lot of hospitals here for our nursing staff. And, you have to be able to retain them. But the other thing to ask is, how long have you been here? And we have staff members who've been here well over 15 years. And one of the reasons we came was because Kenny, our nurse, a 6'3" father of teenage boys, was an Army medic. They stay for a reason, and they like the family here. That's important to us.
Thank you. All right, well, we have our first question from Gordon. Hi, Gordon. Gordon is asking a question about dining, and Mark, maybe you can field this since we don't have Bill here, but he wants to know how broad is our menu? Do we accommodate specific needs such as lactose intolerance, low carb, vegetarian, etc.?
Yeah, I actually had typed a response in there because I wasn't sure how long it would be before we got to it. So, but I did plan on saying something. So in the last year, we actually have brought on a full-time dietitian onto our staff. That's not something that we had before. We've completely restructured our culinary services department because we want to, Edenwald already goes above and beyond, but we really wanted to elevate it even further. And offering greater selection to meet individual needs is one of the things that we want to do. We're unusual as a single site campus of this size that we have 4 restaurants on site. So there is an enormous selection across the entire campus. You can always find something at one of those venues when they're all open again. But we really do try to accommodate as much as we can people's individual needs. I've been a vegetarian for almost 40 years, so I will say I think we could be better about that here, but being the president of the organization, I can assure you that's a focus, just because I eat here every day as well. So I want to be able to have a wider variety. So it is something that the dietitian was brought on specifically for that. And not only is she involved in menu preparation, But then that menu goes to the resident food committee, which is run by residents, and they review it. They're able to edit it as they see fit and make additions and deletions. And then the dietitian, one of the reasons we brought her on is so she can also do individual nutrition consulting with residents. So that is a service that is available here on campus.
Thanks, Mark.
Sure.
We have a question from Lenora, and Lenora is asking if our moving and packing services that Carol spoke about extend to those who live out of state. And also, do we provide help to select furniture? So we are very fortunate to work with several move managers in the Baltimore area who were founding members of the National Association of Senior Move Managers. So if we do have a prospective resident coming from out of state, we often can get a referral from the ladies we work with. They can recommend someone who also is a founding member or they've known for a long time who can do a great job. The other advantage in seeking a referral from one of our move managers is frequently they'll have the person who, let's say someone's coming from New York, they'll have a move manager in New York helping them on that end, like the packing, and then they'll arrange to have one of our move managers do the unpacking on our end. So that's worked really well. Mark, do you want to take there's a question about, someone's asking how diverse our community is based on religion, socioeconomics, age, race, and I'll leave that to Mark.
Okay, I don't have ready statistics here. I mean, I think like a lot of life plan communities, it tends to be very Caucasian. But I've been doing this for 30 plus years. This is only the second campus where I've been at where I am challenged by the residents to create a plan for greater diversity. It is something that is important here. I will say we have a lot of religious diversity. From an age perspective, our youngest resident is 64, Diane?
63.
63. Our oldest is 104. It's a mix, but throughout the whole continuum. From an socioeconomic, we are an affordable community. But I mean, we have millionaires living here, and then we have hard working class people who saved well and planned well. So it is really a mix on that front as well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Debbie, if you don't mind asking or answering, someone's asking us to learn a little bit more about our medical facilities. So I'm going to take that as what levels of care do we offer at Edenwald?
Okay. So here at Edenwald, we have our assisted living community that is located on the 5th and 6th floor in our new terrace building. We have our secure memory care community that's located on the lower level in the tower building. And then on the 2nd floor, we have Stroh Hall, which is our comprehensive care center. So I like to say any kind of care that you could need could be taken care of for you here. We work with Gilchrist if hospice services are needed. So I don't know who asked the question, but is that helpful or do you need more?
If I could just add to that. So the medical suite is also a very important component of what we offer here on campus. The medical suite serves the independent living residents. I've never been at a campus that's staffed the way that we are. We have a social worker who manages the medical suite, and she's a dynamo. She's been here since she was 14, and she is absolutely amazing. We also have nursing staff available around the clock out of the medical suite. It's business hours 8 to 5, 7 days a week. We also have our medical director has his office here and is the primary care physician for a lot of our physicians. We also, for a lot of our residents, excuse me. And then we have groups of different types of specialists who also have office space that they rent here. In part of my plan for this upcoming year, I want to move what we have down onto the 1st floor. Currently, they're on the 2nd floor and they're taking up a space that I think would be better served as an expanded therapy gym. As we get our Medicare certification, we will be doing a lot more rehab here. So I want to expand the therapy gym. I'll be moving the physicians that are up there, which is a dentist, podiatrist, and optometrist. So those are available and they are here regularly and seeing residents.
Thanks,
And then
Mark.
lab services, the medical suite coordinates a whole variety. If you need a lab drawn, that can happen here on campus through the medical suite. And we also have mental health services that we actually focused heavily on during the pandemic. We were already offering something on the healthcare side of things, but knowing that being away from people's families has distressed people. So we've been able to offer intensive mental health services to people as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll ask this question of Kitty, if you don't mind answering another question, Kitty. So we have a question from Riva. Riva's joining us next month. We can't wait for you to join us, Riva. So Riva's asks, and she will be a new resident, how will she get oriented to living here? How will she know where to sit once the new dining room is open? So Kitty, I know as part of the being president of the resident council, you also oversee all the various committees. So maybe you might want to talk a little bit about your welcoming committee.
Well, we have a wonderful welcoming committee, and they will come to you on day one and bring you our Green Book directory, which has bylaws, descriptions for every committee. It's a directory of who lives here, what apartment, and what their phone numbers are. You'll also have a floor rep and an alternate rep on your floor, and they are supposed to be in touch with you and explain the rules of the trash room and the laundry rooms, and in case you use the common one, and some people have their own washers and dryers. But you'll find that the welcoming committee will also, it's a number of people, and they take turns inviting you to dinner. The first, the first couple of weeks you're here, you'll be invited out just about every night, especially when the dining rooms reopen. We have a hospitality table in the grill, and that's a table that anybody can go to, especially new people. We recommend they go there just to meet new people there. It seats 8 people. And it's a good place to go when you don't know where to go. I don't know that you'll get a newsletter, Eden Times, every month that tells you about all the different events that we have, the different committees, and it gives you contact information if it's something you want to find out more about. And of course, me as president, I'm always available by email or phone.
And if I could just add, we're also, we'll be reworking the whole new resident orientation process. It's something that we have been working on, and everything's on hold during a pandemic sometimes. So that's something we'll be revisiting as we reopen. As a matter of fact, I had a suggestion from resident today that I thought was a really great idea, and it was getting name tags for everybody, and sort of have once all the vaccination clinics are done, maybe having a getting to know you again process here on property. So
You know you without a mask.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Thank you. Let's see, another question. Debbie, do you want to maybe take this one? Someone was asking about, I'm still driving, but at some point I may give up my car. Do you offer transportation to things like the grocery store, doctor's appointments, etc.?
We do. So our new contract affords our residents transportation at no charge within a 10-mile radius. If you're outside of that radius for personal appointments, we have our Edenwald town car that you can make reservations for. We also have a partnership with Lyft, which is a ride share like Uber, where our front desk will coordinate those appointments for you. It would show up on your monthly bill. Then when it comes to grocery stores, after pandemic times, our grocery buses would go someplace different every day. So Safeway, now at Trader Joe's has moved out of Towson. Our bus can go over there at Kenilworth. Giant. They go to Hunt Valley Town Center. Once things are open, our buses take our residents, to the Meyer Hall, Center Stage, all those kind of places.
And church, different churches.
Different churches.
Yeah.
It's been so long, it's like part of me feels like I have to
Right.
relearn.
Where do they go?
Where we used to
Right.
go, but yeah, very diverse. I think they go to different churches on Sunday, whether it's, Catholic, Methodist, Lutheran, we cover the whole gamut.
Plus, we have a resident who taught automotives for 25 years in the city schools. And his passion is helping you unload your car. So he'll price it and clean it for you and help get it off your hands. So you don't have to worry about that.
Mark, someone has a question about, since you mentioned being certified for Medicare, how does Medicare work here?
So we are not Medicare certified yet. We are actually in the process of making that happen. So Medicare is a benefit. I don't know if I need to go into that detail, but maybe I will. So one, we will have a Medicare certified unit here that'll be Stroh Hall. It's 49 private rooms on the second floor of the low rise portion of our property. People will go out to the hospital, spend 3 midnights. That might be waived as the pandemic unfolds, because I think there's a lot of talk about making that a permanent, where you could actually, if you don't feel well and you get a doctor's order, you could go straight from your apartment into Stroh Hall and access your Medicare benefit. But generally speaking, it's after 3 midnights in a hospital being admitted, that you can access your Medicare benefit. The first 20 days are paid at 100%, days 21 through 100 have a co-insurance payment. I don't know what it is starting in 2021. I'd have to look at it. It's probably like $170 a day. Most people have a secondary insurance that would cover that. Medicare pays as long as you have a skilled service, which means you're getting physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, or you have a skilled nursing need, such as you have an IV in, or you have a wound that needs a licensed person to take care of that.
And then also some people will ask Debbie and I frequently when they come in to visit, they're like, well, you're not Medicare certified. Does that mean that the doctors who come to Edenwald in the medical suite don't take Medicare? But the doctors that come here or that are available in the medical suite, they do accept Medicare and probably all the different supplemental insurances that our residents might have.
They do. And I didn't also say, our therapy program, it's a contract company that we've had a long-term relationship with. I see that continuing. They bill Medicare for the therapy that they've been providing. And that's not only in the healthcare center, also through the pandemic, people have not always been as active. And so we've been actively watching that and making referrals. So the therapy company would screen and do therapy with people to make sure that they were staying active and moving. And then once that therapy order is completed, then we're transitioning them over to Ryan that Joan had mentioned, our amazing wellness director, and he sets people up for pool, fitness, those types of things just to keep them strong. So.
Thanks. So I guess we have just a few more minutes for we can answer the last questions that we have. So I'll put two of them together. Someone asked what the average age of the population is like here. I don't know the exact number. I would guess somewhere around 82. But again, we have people from 100 and in independent living from 63 to 101. So, and everywhere in between. I don't think there's any age person who would not feel, who was age qualified, who would not feel comfortable here. And then asking how many residents, independent living, Mark, about 340?
We're I would say about 300 on the independent side right now.
And then healthcare currently?
They're 89 across healthcare and assisted living.
And then the next question is, there were two questions related to the pet policy. So I guess that's something we've kind of talked about pre-pandemic, and then there were more urgent things that sort of took precedence. But currently we don't permit dogs. We are open to cats. But then we do have to abide by ADA. So if someone does have special needs for a dog, we would have to, again, abide by those rules. So.
And let me just add that this has been something that has come up. I've been the president here for 2 years, 2 years and a couple weeks actually. And
Happy anniversary.
Thank you, thank you. To me, this is something just like the dress code in the dining rooms. So it really is a resident association decision. It is something that has come up. There are strong feelings on both sides of this. I was warned, don't talk about pets when you get there. I personally am very pet friendly. I think in a urban property, there's some challenges with that. And I think some residents who are opposed to it, the poop in the elevator and what have you, a barking dog can be a little disruptive. But I can also appreciate that you're at home with your pet and you're trying to decide where you want to go. You shouldn't have to make the decision that I want to go and you can't bring your dog. To me, that's just not right. So like I said, to me, it's up to the resident association. I'm game to make rules that'll work for everybody as we do that. And I don't want to put Kitty on the spot. Like I said, it's a dangerous topic.
It is.
I'm not a one-man show anyway.
We just wanted to thank everyone for attending today. We had a great turnout. I think about 27 people, Allie, joined us today. We also wanted to let you know that we are open for business. Debbie and I are seeing people for appointments, however it feels comfortable to you. So we can do Zoom appointments, we can do in-person appointments, we can do a combination of both. So, please reach out, give us a call, 410-823-1349. We love to see you. Thanks again. And thanks again to Carol, Joe, John, and Joan, and Kitty for their agreement to tell you what life's really like at Edenwald.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.